Alright, you guys, we should be started streaming. Still kind of just making sure everything's set up. So right now I kind of have the layout just set up where I'm like, oh, I've got the game up top, little logo of me, and then my name, Isaac-son, or like it'd be like, so I can grab it. It's like, come with us, right there. Okay. So right now I'm just kind of going through and checking to see if my levels and things like that are okay. Okay, I feel like you can definitely hear me pretty good. Okay, so I think we're good there. If anyone comes into chat, and I apologize, I might say this a lot. If anyone comes into chat, please just let me know. And that if just let me know. Actually, I'm gonna exit out of that. That way we're not background hearing that. Okay, but just let me know in the chat, and that I'm gonna open that real quick also. Let's do chat. Loading. Okay. So if we get a chat, it'll pop right up there. Also, if you are watching, I am going to turn the music way down, just because I don't even know like how it is for you guys. What I'm gonna do for this one, just automatically turn that thing like way down, because it is monstrous. Okay. If for some reason the music is too loud for you guys, I'm gonna check on the audio one more time. It's now 4 o'clock. Ooh. At least 4 o'clock my time and that, but I'm gonna just check and see if for some reason the music is too loud for you guys. I'm gonna check on the audio one more time. It's now 4 o'clock. So it does look like you can't really hear it. Oh wait, it's because it's not on right now for you guys. Let's do audio output for 28. Actually, audio output, let's go back and put that down to like 8, 10. Okay. Alright. So if you guys can't hear the music, or if you can hear too much of the music, just let me know. And let's even play this. That's right. So why is start in this? Okay. Alright, you guys. So we're playing Snow White, Happily Ever After. We're playing as the character Snow White right now. She's seen better days than ever, but definitely standard sprite work, I think, for like back then. Probably very reusable standard sprites. I think there's like a lot of levels that kind of like look like, oh yeah, that looks like the Realm of Doom, things like that. But anyways, this is based on the film, the animated film, back in 1989, I believe. I just did a review on it now. Like, I've done so much of it now, my brain's escaping me. But a early animated film where they do a continuation of Snow White, where instead of it just being, oh, now we have what's it called? Instead of like, oh, I'm Snow White, I ate an apple, I passed out, and then somebody kissed me, and then I woke up. It's like, instead of that, they have it continue, and ever where Snow White, not Snow White, sorry, the evil queen from the first movie has a brother in the second movie, and his name is Lord Malice. And Lord Malice is very upset that she has murdered, basically, his little sister, which, like, rightfully so, but also, if you think about it, it wasn't a rock. It was a rock. Ah! It wasn't Snow White that killed him, and ever. It was, if anything, the dwarves and the rock and ever that killed Snow White. So, Lord Malice is really upset, tries to take Snow White, and ever Snow White escapes, but he's able to apprehend the prince, and the story goes on. If you haven't seen it before, I would definitely recommend it. It's Snow White, happily ever after. The story continues. The cast would be Dom DeLuise as the Looking Glass, Irene Cara as Snow White, like this one, I'm Snow White. And then next we would have Carol Channing as Muddy, of course. I freaking love Carol Channing. She did so amazing in that. And oh, thank heavens. This first level like makes you feel like, oh, I planned that on happening. No, this is like just like the forest, it's babying you through it. Anyways, we have Carol Channing as Muddy. Then we have, oh shoot, first death, Snowball. We have Carol Channing as Muddy. Then next we have Phyllis Diller as Mother Nature. Then Sally Kellerman as Sunburn. Then you have Tracy Ullman as Thunderella and Moonbeam. You have Linda Gray, or apologies, Linda Gary, I believe, as Critterina and Mariana. You have Ed Asner as Scowl. And, of course, and this is one that always threw me off, was the idea that there was Lord Malice is played by Robert McDowell. That's so crazy to me. Like, that's a movie way back then, but you, like, hear it and you're like, oh my gosh, that is totally Robert McDowell. And he's just like, Scowl! Or, like, Snow White. And he had a handsome, precious prince. So anyways, right now I'm just kind of playing around. I'll give you guys, like, a little intro about the movie. But this is a video game, obviously, that was made during that video game time where it felt like, especially in, like, I don't know, NES and Super NES era, it seemed like there was a lot more liberties on not only who could make games and release games, but also, I don't know, just it felt like so many different properties that maybe people questioned. I don't know what the Circle of Stars do. I haven't looked it up or anything like yet, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a, hey, this is there. Like, maybe it's like a hint or something like that, probably. Maybe that's why it's illuminated by stars. But, anyways, I feel like it was back during a time when, like I said, it's like, seemed like a lot of film, or a lot of any properties and that kind of stuff would want to try and release a video game just so they could cash in on that, like, ooh, we have a video game, even if it wasn't super true. Like, I don't know, I don't see any caterpillars. That's where we could have used that, that Kate rat that, Sunburn was talking about. Oh, wait, no. It's a dormouse. But, I don't know, I do love the fact that, like, the owl, I'm going to pretend forever is Scowl, because, I don't know, that's probably exactly what it's supposed to be, but I feel like I'm like, oh, when you, like, knock him out and never the sound he makes, I'm like, oh, that's Scowl. And then I knock literally anything else out, and it sounds the same, and I'm like, maybe it's not Scowl. Like, listen, if I can, I don't know, I probably can't lie on this. Maybe see if I can throw apples at it as I talk. Anyways, so basic premise of this game is you're supposed to just collect stuff, go through the level. You have apples and whatever, which can be used to throw stuff. That's one of your, like, lower weapons, but if you use, I want to say it's not that one. How did I use it before? I can't remember. I want to say it was X, but maybe it's because I haven't learned it yet or grabbed any. But you can use a larger attack. Every time you fall, you don't get fall damage, but if you fall out of screen and die, like in a normal way, it will make you lose a heart. And in the beginning, it doesn't seem like that bad, and that, but then after a minute, especially on certain parts, you're like, this is crazy. And every time something hits you, you lose a heart, and you're like, this is crazy. No, but I would say it's definitely a game that's probably more so a product of its time, where I don't want to say like things are ever like broken. A lot of times it's like it's a combo of how well was it made, how accessible to beat it but not easy to win, but not too hard you can't beat it, was it, or was it broken, or do you just need to get good? But alright, so that's the basic premise of that or whatever. If I left any actors or actresses out, I'm sorry, but we are going to get ready to play the rest of it. There's not really a time limit, it doesn't seem like it, but we'll see. We'll see. And ever. It's like when I played through, I got stuck on one part, and we'll see. Oh, but they do Dom DeLuise so dirty in this. In the sense of like that animation, like God bless. It's like if I was in paint trying to recreate the beauty that is Dom DeLuise and in the mirror form, no, I wouldn't have been able to make that. But that might haunt my dreams. Alright, so we're going for now. We started off in the forest. It seems like each one has a 2-act format, so we're in forest part 1. Now we're going into forest part 2. Press start. Oh shoot, I keep doing A for jump, but I forgot I mapped it different. I guess I could map it not like that, but we're gonna keep going. Ah, I forgot about that. They knew it. They knew it. I feel like this game, instead of feeling super random, I'll give it... There's a lot of times that I feel like if you're ever experiencing pitfalls in the beginning, it usually tries to not like hold your hand on certain things. It almost seems like it's trying to tutorial while you're playing, which I know is like what a lot of games do, but then I feel like there's a lot of games, especially back then, if they were not notable or didn't seem like they were from like a very reputable source or like anything like that, it seemed like it was just kind of chaos. You could just literally make ground, not ground, ability to win, ability to lose, but just random stuff everywhere, complete sprites, just XYZ, and they just like call it good. But I feel like, I don't know, it seems like this is one of those ones where while you're playing the game, it gives you kind of like a little bit of a, while you're experiencing it, tutorial. I'm just literally burning through apples. Oh wait, no I'm not. I think it's maybe because when you get like a bigger apple sack, like let's see if I can do the big move now. What is it? It's not that. That's to throw further. That's to pause. What was that? I don't know. That's to get that up. I don't know. We might not be able to use that right now. There's that bee again! Okay, so if you stand still for too long, this bee comes at you and he's cute. He's got the like chubbiest little face. But I'm only saying that because I had him in the perfect spot. The perfect spot to have him is right beneath you because, oh shoot! As he was right beneath. Snow farm. No, the best place to have the bees are right beneath you in that, because when they're right beneath you, they can't, or it's easier to jump on them, versus like trying to throw an apple at them can be difficult sometimes. Keeps pulling up my little keyboard, I'm sorry. I'll have to remember that for next time to disable that for that, because clearly I keep hitting it. Just remap it. It's my first time doing this on my own. Usually if I've ever tried to set up a video game or something like that, I usually... Oop, that was dumb. I usually will have... Like, usually someone will, like, help me or things like that, but I'm like, alright. Doing this upstairs? Okay. So I just need to make sure I go through and remap that. Where are you? Scowl! Played by Ed Asner. Yeah, but with Happily Ever After, the movie, it's one of those movies that I think kind of for a lot of people, if you ever saw it, it probably fell back into your brain like, was that like a fever dream? Did I actually see that movie? Did Snow White have really long hair and also look like kind of a dirty Q-tip with witch boots? And the answer is no and yes. And the video game, yes. But with the movie, in that it was made by Filmation Studios, they originally, I say they like as if I was there at the meeting, like, oh, well, we were just thinking we were gonna, no. It just felt like, in lieu of the original Disney movie, it felt like a new, fresh take in that ever on. Okay, well, I mean, like, that was kind of a pretty, quote, easily achieved happily ever after, but now they're put in a position where it's like, oh man, you gotta, like, oh shoot, I want to jump on you guys, because I don't want to waste apples on the bee. Oh crap. But it seemed like it was just like a fresh new take on, I don't know, so easy happily ever after, now all of a sudden, like, what's life? Life isn't just like, oh, we did it, roll credits, and it's good. No. Life is ups and downs. Life is a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And so it's like, gotta roll with the punches. And so you're sitting there like, oh, in the field, like, let's go pick some flowers. And then a giant dragon appears, and apparently someone that you peed off in your past life is now ready with flames and fire to come and get you. And so, I don't know. It's like, I love the fact that, like, with this one, instead of, like, Snow White appearing to be, which, don't get me wrong, I love the original Snow White. I think she's like a blueprint. Oh, shoot. I think she's a blueprint for which a lot of princesses were, like, not only started on, but, like, built on. And I feel like, I'm sorry, you guys, if I keep going, like, and that kind of stuff, sorry, please let me know. I'm gonna drink real quick. But no, I just like the fact that instead of it being just what I feel people would consider the typical, like, damsel in distress, things like that, I like that it was kind of more of like a female forward, they're going on the adventure and that kind of stuff, whatever. It's like she's proving her love and her devotion and her promise, or like that whole idea of like when you commit to happily, sorry, I'm like literally doing that, when you commit to happily ever after, that doesn't mean that it's always just going to be happiness, rainbow, and sunshine and whatever. It means that there could be dragons along the way. There could very well be a whole bunch of, oh crap, I didn't anticipate that. And I know that's probably like just big, giant, massive, obvious does from old Grandpa Johnson and whatever, but I don't know. I just always loved this movie in the sense of, I just thought it was such a fun, unique telling in all of its weird, quirky, I don't know, just weird, quirky ways, and just like it had a star-studded cast, like I was saying, with everyone I listed. There's probably a lot of them that you've heard of, a lot of them that maybe you haven't heard of, but you've probably heard of them and of their voice. But just want to make sure that it's not going too loud on my phone or something like that. But I don't know, I just always loved this movie, and I don't know, it felt kind of like, whoop, shoot, it does that. It'll do that like little block thing where you're like, oh, I'm gonna blah blah blah, and then, but usually it'll give you a heart like, all right, we got you, but now here's the, I don't know if this is gonna make that harder or easier. Oh, probably easier. I just did it dumb. But anyways, I like the idea that like with this interpretation of Snow White, oh, not there's that bee again. When what's it called? Gotcha. I like that with this interpretation of Snow White, it felt kind of like, I know this is such a weird analogy and whatever, but like when I was little, it's like you would go to like McDonald's and they'd ask you which toy you wanted and that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. And I felt like this movie was such an odd combo of, like, let's say Barbie and He-Man, and it felt like when you went through the drive-thru, it felt like you were able to get both toys. And it was just cool. Like, I don't know, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching that movie as a kid, even though it's like, I know it's weird, all that kind of stuff, but I feel like everybody clocked in and that, and really wanted to make something at least something that I think that everyone there would be proud of, and I love it. And so with my very first movie review, I wanted to make, I don't know, it about that. That was something from my childhood. I felt like that was a good, not like introduction to me, but like an introduction to something from my past. Oh, those long jumps. If you don't press it just right, it like, oh, it does that. Oh, that's so hard. But just, oh, I might have, oh, no. But just felt like it was something, oh, sorry, we have to kind of go down. Oh, something from my past that, I don't know, made me, I don't know, I just felt like whenever people would ask, like, because I don't know who usually gets asked this, but I feel like there's a question people get asked, they're like, who's your favorite princess? And I would always want to say Snow White, and like I said, no shade to the original Snow White, but whenever I would say Snow White, it would always kind of come with that, like, well, I mean, like, there's probably, like, a lot more epic answers to give, or there's probably a lot, like, more, I don't know, not like, it just kind of seems like where it's like someone's like, well, defend your answer, and you're like, well, you're right, it's like she kind of just XYZ, or like I always said, it's like, not basic, just the blueprint of the time of like, alright, from here forward, princesses at this point have to at least be base this Snow White in all of her dirty toothpicky gloriness. Oh, so beautiful. But I love her. But whenever people would say Snow White, I would say Snow White, and my brain would think of the one Snow White, but my heart would be like, it's this Snow White. And then I don't know. So I figured, why not? So part one of the review was definitely me trying to figure stuff out. I'd kind of like maybe done like a teeny bit of like photo editing on like, say, my phone for like personal stuff, like you would for like the send out to the family, or just like very, very, very just random personal use kind of stuff. However, I wanted to try my hat, like just making a YouTube video and all of the facets that would be that. And I think that the channel, or not the channel, the video especially, the channel maybe, whatever, but the video definitely shows, I feel like, kind of more my baby steps of like, oh, the footage I had found for, oh shoot, I do that every time, the footage I had found for Happily Ever After for the first review was not the greatest, and that, it's like, it was definitely very blurry, things like that. That's partially where, like, the need for, like, kind of like, alright, well, can I maybe, like, frame it smaller and that, and I was like, oh, I would love to do the mirror and that kind of stuff and make my own, like, IZB TV mirror that was, like, in homage to Dom DeLuise, or Dom Mirleone, the Looking Glass in the movie, because he is such a brilliant voice actor that's in so many movies that I'm sure everyone's seen at least one of. And I loved the idea of my videos never from then on always having some sort of homage or reference to not only him and ever, but like a root memory or an homage to Snow White, Happily Ever After. And so with part one, I felt like it not only was a display of me really trying to like figure everything out and that, but also kind of trying to pay homage to, like, well, obviously mimicry is a form of flattery and that, and so in it, it's like, even though I'm trying to be like my own Isaac self and XYZ, even with like musicians or things like that, when you've heard a song, usually it's like you're inspired by it, or like, oh, these were, oh, every time, and I did the keyboard thing again. Turn off keyboard. Okay. Good thing I have a bunch of hearts for now. This is like the easy levels. Oh, no, what was it? What was that saying again? Oh, with the first review and that, a lot of it was really, oh, did it again! Ah, you guys! I'm literally crazy. It's like that slip and never. Oh, snow. But anyways, I'm sure that when you watch part one, you can see like how it's a lot of me trying to figure stuff out, figure what my voice is, and trying to like not only do jokes that I think are funny that I think that would make me and Kevin laugh, but also what I think that would hopefully make other people laugh. You know what I mean? And I feel like definitely Crazy Ride. Oh, that's right, it's that leaf. Crazy Ride. Oh, I gotta. That's right. It's trying to tell me like Isaac, in the future you got to look out for doing stuff like that because now it's gone. It's gone. Keep your eyes open. Are your eyes sick? Oh, probably. I just did that again. And so with the first one, that's what it was. Oh, I did it again with that keyboard thing. I need to not be clicking that. Maybe I need to just use the D-pad. Oh wait, I need to just not heavy-hand it. So, how musicians, whenever they're inspired, just like how with anything, it's like, I would say that like a lot of the first one was kind of like either things or memories or stuff that just like reminded me of some of my favorite things about like either YouTube or like how am I gonna get past Scowl? Favorite things about YouTube or like say like some of my favorite YouTubers or like say like John Tron or Elvis the Alien or Mr. Gigi and that's just to name just like a handful, just a few, and that were Curtis Connor, oh my gosh, Curtis Connor, Drew Gooden, and that ever, oh my gosh, and that ever, it's like, and of course Danny Gonzalez and that ever, who just barely had his very first official Greg brought into this world, not a subscribed Greg, but his first official made Greg. But I don't know, it's like I feel like despite its craziness or its fast-pacedness or all the like jokes I'm trying to put in there that like may or may not even come across as kind of funny or just super cringe, it's like, or anything like that, it's like I feel like at its most tame I'm trying to like replicate and do kind of my favorite homage or my favorite kind of like way of, or not favorite way, but favorite things about YouTube that I enjoyed. Not that like that makes it like anything like spectacular or like a tour de force or anything like that, but that's just what it is, or at least what I was trying to go for. I mean, obviously a lot of stuff is like just like failing and learning along the way, but yeah, so that's what part one was. And just kind of like the forest, I feel like it's what nice and easy, and I didn't say nice and easy. Like if any of you guys have seen it, never, it's like it was definitely a ride. But I feel like in comparison to two, in the first one I tried to be a lot more like, here's a clip, here's my comment about the clip, here's the clip, here's this comment about my clip. Versus in part two, I tried to be a little bit more hands off in the whole standard feel of things, if you will. Sorry, I'm like right by the exit because we're about to exit this video. But in part two, and which I'll talk about when we play the next levels and that, I just wanted to go for something a little bit more hands off, or something that was, instead of homage to YouTube, stuff I love about that, love about those creators, love about people that I love watching, or just jokes, things like that. I wanted the second one to be a little bit more focused on like my love for when I see good storytelling, or when I see good music and visuals matching up, or when you're doing visual storytelling and not just saying what's happening in that. But yeah, so I'd love to expand more on that, and I figured instead of me just looking straight into the camera and being like blah 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 blah, I figured we could play some Snow White, throw around some apples, never kill some bad guys, and see if we can't finally defeat Lord Malice for real, instead of just in the movie and review. But there's that bee again, which is a reference to Curtis Connor. I love Curtis Connor. That quote can always live rent free in my brain forever. There's that bee again. always, always, always want to be a citizen of Curtistown. Always, forever, ever. All right. Thank you guys for turning. Thank you guys for tuning in to my first official live stream versus like the ones where I was just kind of testing out the waters. I think I got everything set up, and I think that obviously in the future we'll probably switch things around, but I think this is a nice visual so you guys can see what's going on, know what's up, know who it is, know why it's by, know who we do, and yeah, get ready for some more videos like this in the future. Let me know what you thought about it, please, in the comments below. If you liked it, let me know. If you liked enough that you want to share it, please share. Some people Celine Dion, but we share in this house. And yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, let's go to the exit. You guys thought I'd forget. You thought I'd forget. I lose track all the time, but you thought I'd forget. You thought I'd forget. Alright, you guys. Next one's gonna be Cloudlands. Oh, no! It just dawned on me, because I played like a little bit of this before we streamed. Oh my gosh, the Cloudlands suck. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please check in for the next video. Hit the notification so you don't miss out when I go live. I try to do it a little bit later in the day, but I'll let you know. Follow me on Instagram at IZYasun. Follow me on YouTube at IZBTV. That's IZBTV. And thank you guys again for tuning in. If you tuned in. If you didn't, thank you anyways. If you do in the future, also thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!